Who is the Gout Gout that we know? Because we've had this discussion before and we're having it again. Because as long as this remains the situation, we'll be here to cover it. So for that reason, who is the man that we know now? Because I know what I remember.
Mm.
I don't know if everybody had the same recollection. Remember, I followed the movie as well as the script goes from the beginning to where we are at this point in the plot. So what I remember was he sent shockwaves and I paid no mind. And then he showed up to World Juniors. And remember, he was second in the 200. I don't think he was in the open one.
No.
And Walaza wins it, which is another discussion, which I guess blends in here. Walaza and what he pulled off. So, because he broke sub 10. And was that win legal?
That was win legal, yeah. 9.99 win legal.
Was it 1.9 or was it like 1.0 or what was
it?
It
was like plus 1 point something. Yeah, I forget the exact one.
Okay, I had a feeling it was 1 point something.
Yeah, and it was like altitude, so there's some adjustments.
All right, but at the end of the day, he ran fast. So still, like, so what I'm saying is, from what happened, I guess, like the back part of 2024, like those fast clocks, this is just a continuation of that. But what people, because I did a poll on my channel. I did a poll and a lot of people responded, which means more people responded to that poll than almost any other poll that I do. It was right up there with like my top polls ever, where I was just like, yo, like, do y'all think that Gout is ready to like go after medals? And I would say about 60% or like a little under 60% of the community was like, nah, stop it. Like this is all hype. Not that he's not fast, but that like putting him in the conversation with medals is getting ahead of ourselves. So, I mean, I guess I'd say, like, what are we expecting? Because we're watching him run these crazy times. And it's almost like there's multiple conversations here. One is he ready for medals? What are we reasonably expecting in 2025? Because the level of attention he's getting is way beyond anything else we are used to seeing for an athlete in his position. So that's one end. And then the other is even like, beyond this, what is the reasonable expectation for his long-term development?
So I'm thinking about, because like, all right, when we look, especially long-term, but like kind of even in the short term, I know people don't like it, but the Usain Bolt comparisons, I'm thinking about, and we've spoken about it, I think a couple times in previous episodes, where it's like Usain Bolt, 2002, 2003, he was the guy. He was the next up at that point, breaking all the world junior records, the world youth records. He was a world junior champion. He had all that, sub 20 seconds, all of that. But then you get to those years, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, like before we know Usain Bolt, that we know today, he was finishing third, fourth, fifth in various different races, right?
And nobody really paid attention here.
Nobody paid attention. He literally did not win a single global medal until 2007 when he got silver behind Tyson Gay at the World Championships. This is all occurring after he already was the next up. He
broke the world
in the 200. Yes, yeah. He didn't dip into the 100 yet. But again, that's why I'm looking at a similar situation. Now, obviously, Gout Gout and Bolt are different, but just to say that there's some parallels where Gout Gout could be this next up, but I want us to set expectations where it's like we're not surprised when he goes into a race with Noah Lyles, with let's see the Boho, and starts to finish down the pack behind a Kenny Bernard. Like he's gonna have to step up with the big guys at some point, and he's not always going to be winning races or even finishing top three. Like that's going to happen.
My brain is like, while you're talking, I'm like, to be honest, Erriyon Knighton is a much more valuable comp than Bolt.
Of course.
Much more valuable. And I'm going to say a lot of unpopular things right now. But hey, let's go here. Let's do it. Hey, strap up, let's ride, comment section, let's roll, let's do it. When we talk about Erriyon Knighton and what his progression actually was, or it had been to this point, if we're 100% of real about that progression, I think, because people get ahead of themselves, I'm going to look at the evidence as we put it together. Erriyon Knighton, if you look at him back when he first burst onto the scene, which would be the AAU rate, think of his AAU year as Gout going off. Like when he goes off with the kids.
So what is that, like 2020, 2019? Or no?
He was 20. I mean, I don't remember the year of calendar. I know he was 16. When he goes to AAU so and like 20.3 or whatever, and everybody's like, whoa. What did this 16-year-old kid just do, right? Same thing, like exact same impact of Gout just going off the way he did in the back part of 2024. And here we are, where because Erriyon Knighton turned pro while he's in high school,
Yeah.
goes to the Olympic trials and makes the team, and that's a big deal in America. So when he does that, he's a kid. He looked like a kid for the most part.
Yeah.
And by kid, I mean like teenager.
He was like 17, I think.
Yeah, but like, and Gout is 17 now, so exact same. They're in the same spot. But here's the thing. This is where the part that gets unpopular. They're the reason why Erriyon Knighton today is not much faster than that kid. What people don't realize is you can't run these times if you are not very close to your full development as a man. So what I'm trying to say is Erriyon Knighton today is stronger. Just look at him. Look at footage of the young kid, and then look at him in 2024. He don't look the same. He looked bigger and stronger, but he wasn't faster. He might have even been better, but he wasn't faster. Let that think in for a moment. Did it ever occur to you that whatever body chemistry you're seeing out of this kid that was walked into and matured, because there's two ways it looks. We're used to it looking like a freshman in high school who's already built like an NFL linebacker. Like I'm embellishing a little bit, but yeah. There's a fast freshman who just ran a really fast clock. I mean, I looked into it. I mean, I'm sure he'll pop up on my rankings when it's time. But I mean, that said, just look at the kids who do these things. They're developed. Like physiologically, they don't look like 14-year-old, 5'8", 125 pounds. They look more like, oh man, you might be a freshman in high school, but you got a mustache. And you fill out that shirt pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like he a freshman, but that's just what class is he taking. So I'm saying it's possible that Gout's body, this is how it's developing.
Yeah.
And in other words, this might be his man status already. And he might now have to grind it out with the weight room and everything else from this point. Because when people talk about age, what they're saying is they're correct on some level where there's a degree of magical like progression or like this automatic growth you get when you're getting older. And that turns off when your body crosses over to being man status. But you ain't running 20 flat in a 200 as a kid. You see what I'm saying? Like kids can't do that. So he has to be running with some degree of his man status already. So I think that's the issue when we want to clip on the afterburners and say he's just going to go do these crazy things. Because the reason why Bolt didn't just clip on the afterburners either, he had to figure it out. And that's a process that takes time. I don't know how long it's going to take him to figure it out. So all I know is he's now crossed over where you will now be held accountable as a professional athlete. But it was still awe-inspiring to see that he could run that fast by himself, because these pros would be afraid to run. That's the thing about youth. Youth don't care. Gout thinks he can run fast every race he runs.
Yeah.
In his mind, he's like, why can't I?
Yeah, absolutely. But then I wonder, again, I'm going back to, because I feel like we're in like the track and field community. There's a reason that all these Gout videos go crazy online. People love to see him run. People love like what's going on right now. But I do wonder if people are ready to see him go up against these guys. Like,
They're ready for the first race.
They're ready for the first one. And then
they might even be halfway ready for the second. But if he's not ready to be a world beater right now, the conversation's gonna flip. And then we're not gonna start seeing a lot of, to be honest, we're gonna get a lot of Gout bashing. Like,
which is
crazy, because people are gonna act like, okay, what was it that just happened? I'm trying to remember how it was framed. Like there was some event that just went down where it was like, oh yeah, it was Thiele lost in the 400.
Oh yeah.
I made a video to put it in context, but I still was like, hey, should we be worried about him?
Yeah.
Is this concerning? Like, that's what I'm putting out. That's the concept. Like, if I put, hey, comment section, if I put a question mark and then an exclamation point next to whatever I said, I'm asking the question. But I'm asking it in, like, I'm pushing out whether I ask the question, like I'm projecting.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, we shouldn't be worried. He'll be ready when the moment is here. But yeah, he was losing some 400s. He didn't start the season off fast. It is what it is. There are reasons why that's happening and the way things are rolling out. So the article that I saw that said what is it like? It was like massive loss or something like
Yeah.
that. Like the way they spin it to try to get people to come to the article. I'm like, that's what you're gonna start seeing with Gout Gout, because right now
Yep.
the story is he's way out in front. But he
Yep.
ain't finna be way out in front in the Diamond League.
No. Like you just spoke about Erriyon Knighton. We're a couple years removed from that young Erriyon Knighton who's like making teams, running 19 whatever. Like obviously he's still very good and he's made every single team for the USA, but like we're not seeing those crazy headlines anymore because things have kind of like come back to reality in a sense where it's like, oh, hold up. Again, you're professional, or at least like you're signed, you have a contract, and you now have to run with these guys who are gold medalists, like Olympic and world gold medalists. Those performances were nice and like we love the hype, but like how are you going to actually respond when it comes to competing at the highest level against the best? And like Erriyon Knighton, he has multiple medals, and I'm sure that Gout Gout at some point will also get multiple medals, but we have to, I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see how the community responds and also how Gout Gout responds when he's in these races.
But here's another layer of this. Let's go back to Noah Lyles and his journey.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if I'm wrong for seeing it this way. I feel like Noah came in the game in a down zone where Bolt had just left. And it was kind of like a hangover. And he was able to build himself up in the 200 and work his way through in the 60 and the 100 to getting to where he is now. But like, he was irrelevant at first in the pro scheme of things, and then moved his way up. But when he's winning in 2019, keep in mind, man, like you beating Ramil Gulyev. Like, no shade, but like you not beating Justin Gatlin or anybody who had that status.
Yeah.
Like it got way harder to win these 200s as the years went by.
Yeah.
Faster, and part of that with the field running with him. But like that's really what we was doing, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it was like a reset.
Gulyev was winning world championships in the Open 200. I mean, okay, he did it once, but like,
I mean,
that really happened. This is real life.
It was a reset. Usain Bolt retired, and we had to go through all again. We had Ramil Gulyev. Like that was the next thing that happened after Usain Bolt, just to reset the field.
Because he won, and it was like, wait, did that just happen? Like
he didn't even run sub 20 when he won that gold medal. I don't even, or it might have been like 19.9 high, but it wasn't
barely. Yeah, like it wasn't the times we want to see now. So I bring all of that up to get to where we are in this current landscape. When Gout Gout is coming up, you got to look who's up. Noah's up there, the same guy who was Pat in the past, sort of, kind of, a version of that, who's now figured it out clearly. And remember, Kenny Bednarik gets slept on. He was the fastest American high schooler. That's what he was. End up in junior college for whatever the reason, and dominates it so much so he said, forget about the NCAA. Like he didn't in JUCO, he just didn't lose. The only time he lost, he was hurt. He just didn't lose. Anytime he ran, and he went like 19.4 when he was there.
Yeah,
remember? Yeah, but did he go 19.3 now? No, because it doesn't work like that. You run these crazy flash times, and you don't really know how you did it, and then after that, you have to figure out how to get back. Who knows? Gout Gout might be. It could be any number of things, but I'm gonna tell you what I don't expect. I don't expect 19.5. I don't expect 19.6 anytime soon.
No.
I expect best case scenario for him and his development, we might see 19.9 this year in a race that actually matters.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident we'll see
19,
that. Yeah.
Even 1989 might be pushing it. It might be pushing it.
Okay.
To expect him to give that this year. I know we want to see it, but I'm just using real numbers.
Yeah.
He ran 19.4, two of them, and couldn't give that to you again.
Yeah.
Like, could not. Kenny B ain't never ran 19.4 from then till now, as good as he is.
Yeah.
Erriyon Knighton never ran 19.4 from then till now, as good as he is. So we think that he gonna break the curve and be the one who's all of a sudden just gonna, like, we see a time, and then we think that time means we're gonna see more of it, and it might be maybe that's the time you saw. He might go into pro races, start running 20.3, and people say, what happened?
Exactly. So I guess one question, because again, we're coming off all the headlines. Next Usain Bolt, comparing him to whatever, whatever. Now he is 17 years old. We were just speaking about Erriyon Knighton. Erriyon Knighton has the world junior, whatever, I think junior record, U20 record at 19.84, or it might be faster than that, but like when he was 17 years old, he ran 19.84. Are we saying, do we think that Gout Gout can surpass that? And if he doesn't, do we look at him different?
I mean, who's we? I mean, the
community.
Because, I mean, for me personally, I feel like I know what he is. The best thing that Gout Gout has going for him is he ain't American. So as a result, he ain't got to deal with our system. He ain't Jamaican either. He ain't got to deal with that. So for the most part, he's going to be at the Worlds. Like, ain't nobody really stopping him. I mean, Australia look like they want to run faster now. But, like, I'm saying, like, no one's stopping him, really, from making these teams. So now his only thing when he's there, what is he going to do?
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just thinking about, again,
he'll
the
be
conversation.
there in the prelims.
He'll be there. He has essentially right now in March, he has his ticket booked to Tokyo. Like, he'll be there. Like, no one is competing. The 100, like you said, Australia's getting a little faster. Maybe someone could keep him off. But the 200, nobody's touching him. But people, again, we just spoke about Erriyon Knighton. People may look at Gout Gout like, wow, we just came off a year of him. Every single headline said he's broken Usain Bolt's age record. Now at an age where Erriyon Knighton, who's still active, has an age record. Are we, or at least
they want to see him.
They want to see that.
He's supposed to take the next steps.
He's supposed to continue.
That'll be the first, like, way in which the internet community will try to validate and or invalidate his success.
Exactly.
And they'll keep using a step ladder and say, at this age you're supposed to do, because what they want him to be is they want him to be the fastest at every age.
At every age, exactly.
And by the time he's 21, he's supposed to be the fastest we've ever seen.
Yeah, literally. But obviously me and you, we understand, and like people who are in the track world, they should understand, like, it just doesn't work like that. But the world is going to expect these crazy things from him.
Like, I think he has what it takes to do. Is just going to be like that transition to like pro mindset. And Erriyon Knighton, if you were to talk to him, Erriyon Knighton would be like, yo, like, there's how I seen it when I was pointing at that clock at trials back in 2021. There's how I thought then, and then there's how I seen it now.
Mm-hmm.
After he just ran an indoor 200 where he got beat by like some guy from Sweden or something like that.
Yeah, the different.
However many years later, where it's like, and they say, well, what happened? Were you not trying? He's like, it's different.
It's different.
It's just not what I thought it was going to be back then to where we are now.
That's the thing. It's like, how is it going to be over the next couple of years? And what is it going to look like when you're coming off the curve and you're either next to or behind Kenny B, Noah Lyles, Erriyon Knighton, let's see, like, how do you respond? You don't have the option to say, okay, let me just keep pushing. Maybe you can, but now you have people around you who can walk away from you. Like, you walk away. You're going to get to the World Championships at the end of this year. And let's say you make it to the final. These guys are running 19.4, 19.5. You're running 19.9. Maybe he'll be faster at that point, but it's just like, it's a different world. I mean, it's a different world.
If we look for how he ran that last race, because people always want to say drop him in the race. You know what? Fine then, because they want to drop people in races. Drop him in. Throw him at the Olympic. Let's put him in the Olympic trials in the 200. How would that have gone? Christian Coleman runs away and you try to chase him down. You didn't catch him.
Nope.
Courtney Lindsay, he had you at the turn and you ran with him, but you didn't get him either.
Nope.
Noah and Kenny were gone.
That race is over.
That in. Like, you come out the turn and just be like, we not running for that no more.
And then Erriyon.
And Erriyon Knighton. He would have beat you off the turn and stayed ahead.
Like,
so I know we want to drop people in and like, in the Olympics he would have did this, and I'm just saying, coming from our vantage point, from our part of the world, if we took his best race, all other things assumed, that he's just going to give you at least that in that moment right now, the best one he's given to life, like in his career to this point, that's what it looks like on that stage.
Yeah.
it looks like what, maybe sixth.
Sixth place, maybe fifth, depending on how things go. Like you said, maybe coordinate, but it's like, to your point, and you've said this multiple times in videos. At the end of the day, he's not a U20. Well, on paper, he's a U20 athlete, but he's a professional, right? He's not even thinking about anything else except I want to go to the World Championships. You have to be able to compete with those guys, and this is what you got to do. You have to be up there.
Fahnbulleh gonna be going at it to get like for a spot, for example. Fahnbulleh, that when Fahnbulleh start rolling, and you ain't never seen a gallop like that.
Fahnbulleh, he makes finals. Regardless of what times he runs, he knows how to make finals. Gout Gout doesn't have that experience yet. So, like,
I'm saying, like, I'm just imagining them in the semifinal heat. And I mean, hey, it could be neck and neck because Gout Gout, his hundreds ain't like that.
Yeah.
So if Fahnbulleh gets you out the turn,
it's over. It's over. At that point, it's over.
Just let it ride. It'd be like, I would just be like, hey, hopefully there's another qualifying spot behind them.
They have those represage rounds or something, like, because no, but I mean, obviously, Gout Gout has a talent. He's going to get. I'm confident that he'll get to a point where he is going to be. We'll see him, Erriyon, Knighton, Fahnbulleh. Like, we'll see them competing in the future down the line. I mean, Fahnbulleh, he's in another level already, but it's just, I think we need to be careful on like getting him super hype and like setting these expectations where it's like by the World Championships in September this year, he's going to be a medalist. It's like, I think we need to slow down slightly.
People think it's kind to an athlete to sing their praises that way. I don't think that's kind. I think that's disrespectful and sets them up for a failure, because that's how the world is set up. People like to build you up so they can knock you down. So when I say I'm a skeptic, I'm not a skeptic on his talent. I'm a skeptic on the narrative that he gonna go out there and he gonna be a world beater at 17 years old. I'm skeptical about that. I'm not cynical. However, they're the reason why people before you didn't do it.
Yeah.
They're the reason. And it never, and again, the people before you, we're not talking about the two stars. We're talking about the people before you who were like the high level, the next world beater. They're the reason why they didn't, at this age, show up to those moments and just do it. There's just so many ingredients. So, hey, I mean, we're going to find out.
My name is Anderson from The Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from The Finish Line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.